Curriculum development. By the end of this topic, you should be able to
1. Describe Tyler's model of curriculum development.
2. Explain the features of Deborah's curriculum development model.
3. Describe the Saylor and Alexander model.
4. Compare the Tyler, Deborah, and the Saylor and Alexander models. 5. Differentiate between the levels of educational goals.
The first phase is curriculum planning, followed by curriculum design, curriculum implementation and curriculum evaluation. In this topic we will examine in general the curriculum development process by referring to 3 well-known curriculum development models, namely, the Tyler model, the Deborah model, and the Saylor and Alexander model.
In the second part of the topic, we focus on the first phase of the process, namely, curriculum planning, which involves establishing the goals and objectives of a curriculum based on the agreed educational philosophy.
1. What is the cartoon's message? 2. How far is this reflected in your country's education system?
the curriculum development process.
Curriculum is the foundation of the teaching-learning process, whether it is a school, college, university or training organization.
The textbooks used, how teachers are trained, development of instructional plans, evaluation of students, preparation of guides for both students and teachers, and setting of standards, are all based on the curriculum.
Thus, without a curriculum, no educational institution can function efficiently. Given such importance to curriculum, a number of questions are raised. How is it developed? How is it organized? Who develops it? What are the principles in developing a curriculum? How do we know whether the curriculum is successful?
Curriculum is a plan for ordering and directing the teaching-learning experiences that students encounter in an educational institution.
The process of providing the plan and keeping it running smoothly is known as curriculum development. Curriculum development is the more comprehensive term, which includes planning, determination of aims and goals, design, implementation and evaluation.
Since curriculum development implies change and betterment, curriculum improvement is often used synonymously with curriculum development, though in some cases improvement is viewed as the result of development.
Curriculum development is a process that continuously strives to find newer, better and more efficient means to accomplish the task of educating the next generation.
Models of curriculum development.
What is a model?
A model consists of interacting parts that serves as a guide or procedure for action. Some models are simple while others are very complex. In many instances, models are more similar than different and are often refinements or revisions of earlier models. There are many models of curriculum development, but in this topic, we will discuss well-known models.
The Tyler model,
The Deborah model,
the Saylor and Alexander model,
Wheeler's model.
Kerr model.
Each of these models is named after their originator. The Tyler model.
One of the best-known curriculum models is the Tyler model, introduced in 1949 by Ralph Tyler in his classic book Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction, in which he asked 4 questions.
What educational purposes should the school seek to attain? What educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes?
How can these educational experiences be effectively organized?
How can we determine whether these purposes are being attained?
In essence, Tyler's questions represent the 4-step sequence of
identifying purposes or objectives,
selecting the means for the attainment or achievement of these objectives. For example, what educational or teaching learning experiences have to be provided for students.
organizing these educational or teaching learning experiences, and
evaluating the outcomes or what students have attained or achieved. By purposes, Tyler was referring to objectives, and when developing curriculum objectives, data should be gathered from 3 sources.
the subject area, for instance science, mathematics, geography, history.
The learners, for instance economically disadvantaged, gifted, varying academic abilities, and
Society, for instance ethics, patriotism, national unity, environmental awareness, employment, market needs.
Tyler's model of curriculum development. After identifying the objectives, which are the desired learning outcomes, the curriculum developer has to pass them through 2 screens: the philosophy screen and the psychology screen.
Resulting from the specific instructional objectives which state the kind of outcomes that are observable and measurable.
The next step is the selection of educational experiences which enable the attainment of the stipulated objectives.
The learning experiences have to take into account the previous experiences learners bring to a situation.
The learning experiences will have to be selected based on what is known about human learning and human development.
Next, Tyler talked about the organization and sequencing of these learning experiences.
He emphasized that the experiences should be properly organized so as to enhance learning, and suggested that ideas, concepts, values and skills be used as organizing elements woven into the curriculum.
These elements would serve as organizers linking content within a particular subject, for instance history, economics, science, and also determine the method of instruction or delivery of content.
Finally, Tyler proposed that evaluation should be an important part of the curriculum development process. It was necessary for educators to know whether the selected learning experiences produce the intended results.
For example, if the objective was to develop critical thinking among students, did the learning experiences selected achieve this objective? Through evaluation it will be possible to determine whether the curriculum was effective or ineffective.
There is no denying that Tyler's thinking has greatly influenced the field of curriculum, especially curriculum development.
The 4 questions that he raised had and still have great appeal, because it is very reasonable and workable.
Despite much criticism of the model as being too linear, that is, cause and effect, there is no denying that his thinking continues to be popular. 1. What is the role of objectives in Tyler's model?
2. Why do objectives have to be screened by philosophy and psychology?
3. Give 3 specific examples of learning experiences according to the Tyler model.
4. What are elements? Give specific examples.
5. What is the purpose of evaluation?
The Tabor model.
Another approach to curriculum development was proposed by Hilda Tabor in her book Curriculum Development: Theory and Practice, published in 1962.
She argued that there was a definite order in creating a curriculum. She believed that teachers, who teach the curriculum, should participate in developing it, which led to the model being called the grassroots approach. She noted 7 major steps to her grassroots model in which teachers would have major input.
She was of the opinion that the Tyler model was more of an administrative model. The Tyler model involved too much top-down decision-making.
The greater portions of curriculum decisions were made by administrators in the central office or the Ministry of Education.
Tabor felt that a curriculum should be designed by the users of the program. Teachers should begin the process by creating specific teaching-learning units for their students.
She advocated that teachers take an inductive approach to curriculum development. This meant starting with the specifics and building toward a general design.
This was just the opposite of the more traditional deductive approach, which starts with the general design and then working toward the specifics.
Tabor proposed the following 7 major steps for her grassroots model, in which teachers would have major input throughout the curriculum development process.
Diagnosis of need.
The teacher, who is also that curriculum designer, starts the process by identifying the needs of students for whom the curriculum is planned. For example, the majority of students are unable to think critically.
Formulation of objectives. After the teacher has identified the needs that require attention, he or she specifies objectives to be accomplished.
Selection of content.
The objectives selected or created suggest the subject matter or content of the curriculum. Not only should objectives and content match, but also the validity and significance of the content chosen need to be determined. For example, the relevancy and significance of the content.
Organization of content.
A teacher cannot just select content, but must organize it in some type of sequence, taking into consideration the maturity of learners, their academic achievement, and their interests.